It's hard to believe that it's been almost 30 years since Ford introduced the Explorer. Back in 1990, the Explorer SUV was a rear-wheel drive 5-passenger SUV, and it was an instant hit. Over the years, it's gotten a little bit bigger. It even went to front-wheel drive for the 5th generation in 2011, but here is the 6th generation Ford Explorer SUV, new for 2020, and it's on an all-new platform that has once again switched back to rear-wheel drive. Now, Ford has said they've done this because it's better for handling, it's better for towing, but in our experience, a 3-row SUV on a rear-wheel drive platform usually comes with some compromises, sometimes in cargo room, sometimes in passenger room. So we've come here to suburban Detroit to have a better look at the 2020 Explorer, to see if Ford has crafted something that's as good as it ever has been, or does it come with a couple of compromises? So you'd be forgiven for thinking that the styling of the 2020 Explorer isn't all that different from the 2019 version, because, quite frankly, it's not all that different. It does look very similar to the old one, despite this being a completely brand new platform. But if you look at it from certain angles, such as the side profile view, you realize that the proportions of the new 2020 model are very different. There's a lot less front overhang, it looks longer, it looks lower, it looks generally sleeker, despite being roughly the same size. This one looks a little bit different than most of the Explorers because this is the brand new high-performance ST version. Now, it comes with slightly different styling. You've got a gloss black grille, gloss black wheels and trim, mirrors, and quad tailpipes out the back. But overall, the look of the Explorer isn't all that different on the outside. But that's not the case inside. So while it's not all that different on the outside, in here, it's a whole new ballgame. This is obviously a whole new interior, and there's a much more horizontal aspect to the dashboard, with one notable exception, this thing. This is the optional 10.1-inch vertically oriented touchscreen. It's running the latest version of Sync 3, which has a new user interface, and it seems to be just as quick and clear and easy to use as the last version was. There's also a new digital instrument cluster that's also optional. It changes depending on which mode you've selected and the terrain management system, which means that if you're in normal mode, you switch to sport mode, there's actually a little animation that happens before it settles into the new mode. It's very modern, it looks very similar to the Mustang system, which we're also a big fan of, and it makes this really a cool experience in here. Visibility out the front is really quite good. The seat comfort is good as well. The materials look nice. This really is a nice upgrade to the Explorer. Now, there are a number of colors available for the new Explorer and a number of different trims as well. This one is the ST, so it's got the dark leather, it's got unique embossed trim on the seat backs, it's got contrasting white stitching throughout, and it's got a fake carbon fiber trim look to the dashboard, but overall, it looks really sporty. It's very comfortable up here. It's a nice place to be. But chances are, if you're looking at an Explorer, you're probably more interested in its abilities to haul people and stuff, in which case the second and third row might be more important to you than that first row. The second row is available as either a standard bench or optional captain's chairs. Now, if you get the Platinum or the ST, those captain's chairs come standard. They're also available with Ford's Easy Entry Power Tilt and Slide feature, which enables easier entry into the third row. Now, as we feared, the third row is a little bit compromised. Because this is a rear-wheel drive vehicle, the load floor is a little bit higher than the previous generation model, and so sitting back here, your knees are kind of in your chest because you're sort of sitting on the cargo floor. The seat is very firm, and it is really kind of sized best for either small people or children. And you can put children anywhere in the second or third row because Ford has included latch anchor points for child seats in every seating position in the second and third row, which should give it some top marks for families looking for a family hauler. The standard engine in the new 2020 Explorer is a 2.3-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine making 300 horsepower. It's mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission that sends power to the rear wheels, as we've talked about. Now, that setup should sound familiar because that's the same powertrain that you can get in the new Ford Mustang. There are two optional powertrains as well, a 3-liter twin-turbocharged V6 making 365 horsepower that you can only get in the Platinum level of the Explorer, or if you want the full performance SUV, go for the ST, in which case you get 400 horsepower out of that same V6. The ST also comes with a performance tune to its 10-speed automatic transmission. It's got larger front brakes, it's got vented front rotors, and it's got a special tune to its shocks and springs as well. So this really should be quite the performance SUV. Ford says that it's going to be the fastest SUV that you can buy for under $60,000. So believe me, when we first get our hands on one of them, we're going to put that one to the test. If you're looking for something super efficient, Ford may just have the answer for you. They've created a new hybrid version of the Explorer, the first ever. It combines a 3.3-liter V6 naturally aspirated with a 35-kilowatt electric motor that they sandwiched into the 10-speed automatic transmission. Now, we don't have any fuel economy numbers for this yet, but they say that it is going to make 318 system horsepower and should get over 500 miles of range between fill-ups. Being one of Ford's most popular family vehicles, they really had to bring their safety game for 2020, and Ford has definitely upped the ante. They're offering the Ford Co-Pilot 360 as standard. That means that the new Explorer will have autonomous emergency braking, blind spot warning, lane keep assist, and a rear view camera washer, all as standard. Now, a rear view camera washer really does kind of make sense, especially in climates like here in Michigan, where during the wintertime, that rear camera lens can get pretty scuzzed up. They're also debuting something called Park Assist 2.0 on the new Explorer. Now, in previous versions of the automatic perpendicular and parallel parking system, you still had to operate the brake and the shifter. Not anymore. Now, as long as you keep your finger on a certain button in the center console, the car does all the work for you. It'll pull you in or pull you out of a spot automatically as long as you have your finger on that button. Take your finger off the button and it should stop. We don't yet have pricing on the new 2020 Explorer. That hasn't been released yet, but Ford has said that it should start at a base model level of about $400 more than the outgoing model, which is pretty good considering it's got considerably more safety equipment as standard. Now, these cars aren't going to be going on sale until the summer of 2019, which is probably right around when we're going to get our first drive of one. If you want to learn more about the new 2020 Explorer, definitely come visit us on Cars.com.